boldip.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bold Inventor Show. I'm your host, JD Houvener with Matt Kulseth. We're here for another episode for you, the inventor, entrepreneur, or business owner. Matt, good day to you.
Hey, good day to you, JD. Looking sharp, my friend.
Thank you for those podcasters out there. I got the jacket on today, no tie, but feeling businessy. I mean, this is crunch time. We're less than 2 months away from the end of the year, Matt. I mean, I think people are feeling it. I think, you've got that Veterans Day holiday, which honestly is awesome, but now it's time to dig in. Now it's time to get real. So
we're
busy. So
it'll be interesting. Like a lot of folks doing lots of stuff at the end of the year, a lot of sales pushes, money to spend in the budget.
Right.
It'll be busy.
Should be busy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to need to do a Black Friday sale for bold patents.
Why not, right? Sure.
Why not? Maybe we could unveil one. If we get any listeners out there curious about that, I'd love to hear. We've got a couple live viewers on. If you are new to our show, we're both attorneys. I'm a patent attorney, Matt's a trademark attorney, and we're talking shop. Today, we didn't plan on having a guest, but we do have a special guest waiting backstage. His name is Ryan Begin, and he's an SEO strategist, AI enthusiast, and I think he's an inventor. I'm curious to see how much he's willing to share about what he's been up to. He'll be on soon, so hang tight for Ryan. If you have a question, something hypothetical, non-confidential, this is the time to ask it. That's why we're doing it live. It can be fun. Plug in your comment, plug in your question to the stream, and we'll get to you first. I've got my legal notice ready this week, so please don't share anything confidential. We're not going to be giving any legal advice to you or your specific situation now because this is a live public forum. But if you do have any questions where you want to have some legal counsel, I've got a link here for you to schedule a discovery call to see if we're a good fit and to see if it's something that we can help with, if it's the right area of law. So that's your weekly live link, and you'll get a copy of my second edition book. I got about 200 of those books to get through, Matt.
Nice.
And then I can start shipping out edition.
Another round of them. That's great.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah. So I've been hand signing those. I give those out to all of our clients. I give them actually 2 copies, one for a friend, which is great. It's always fun to get the word out, help inventors get educated. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're all about.
It's a big hill to climb.
It is. It's absolutely.
First time you climb it.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much you don't know that you don't know.
100%. Well, let's dig into it. Unless you had any big updates, any news to share.
Nothing new in my world.
Okay. I think we maybe next week, one of these 2, I should prep. We do have a new USPTO director. Do we not?
Yeah, we should do maybe a whole episode on just the USPTO and how it works and what it is and maybe the history behind it and how it's organized potentially.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can go way back. We can go back to
1946. We'll go back to the Lanham Act. Let's
go Lanham Act. Let's go even further back to the very interesting time when the Patent Office caught fire.
Oh, I don't know this.
Very, very controversial. You don't know about that? Yeah, it was like 1920. And so there were these lost files, lost inventions. Very interesting. Over 100 years ago now. But
any good conspiracies around those?
Well, perhaps, yeah. Invention ownership. There was some sort of, it had to fudge it. There's no digital copy. That's a hard copy. It's what was there exactly. Whose rights were who.
All right.
So I'll leave that hanging a little bit. A little cliffhanger on that for the USPTO history documentary. We do have a new music release this week for those on the newsletter. What If I Fail? What If I Fail got released 2 weeks ago, just sent out to your newsletter. So if you're on the Bold IP list, you have got to give that a listen. You can purchase it for 69 cents on the Apple Store. Also available through
dropping new beats.
Dropping releases. We're not just giving legal advice. We're dropping beats. And in fact, Ryan was so excited when I told him because he's helping Bold out with its digital marketing. He thought, hey, maybe I could interview you, JD, on air about your music and then have that as sort of a video as I describe my song. So that could be part of this segment as well.
Super cool.
Let's get to some questions that have come in over the week. Let's see if we got any new ones here because and we have a pile of ones that we've unfortunately not got to either. So let's jump in. I'll scroll to the bottom here. If there is a bottom, the bottomless pit of questions. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This one might be, is it trademark copyrighty one. So right up your alley, Matt. I'll look at that. Jonathan Mitchell, music is life. I agree. Thanks for tuning in, Jonathan. So good to see you, man. Okay, here's a long question. I'm going to plug it in best I can. Okay. As the title says, I created a new word and phrase. I have a feeling once it gets out there, it would catch on as it's pretty catchy.
It's not 6-7, is it?
Oh, okay, let's come back to that. I have never trademarked or copyrighted anything before. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? If people start using the phrase, would I have to go after each one? This is all new. Any advice is appreciated.
Yeah, I think this is a common misconception that, like, if you create a phrase, right, and throw it out into the world somehow.
Like, what did you say? What was that? Yeah.
Right, you own it, right? That somehow the words that come out of your mouth, you own in perpetuity and nobody can use them again, right?
Is that how it
works? And if you come up with a cool phrase or just an annoying phrase that catches fire, like 6-7 or whatever, you don't own that. It doesn't even represent anything. Nobody even knows what it is. It's just
slop. It's horrible. It's terrible. Yeah. So I have to jump in. So
not a trademark.
Okay, say again.
Not a trademark.
Not a trademark. During my flag football season, it came up a lot. I'm trying to account for stretching, and these kids are like, we get to 6-7, they start doing this thing. Like, what does this mean? No one had the same answer. I'm like, you're not allowed to use that because you don't know what it means. And because someone could be confused and you might hurt someone's feelings. Not allowed. Yeah. So anyway, I digress. I don't like it. It doesn't mean anything. It's not supposed to mean anything.
I like your approach to not liking it.
Yeah, not like it. Good. Thank you, Matt. We're moving on, I think. Anything else on that? No, I think we pretty much nailed it.
So a trademark has to connect a consumer to a product or service. It's shorthand, right? That's Instead of me explaining to you that I like the laundry detergent that's in that orange bottle with the blue cap, and I think there's like a sun or something on it. You know the one, right? Yeah. And then you fill in the blank. You know the brand. That's what a trademark does. It gets you from A to B a lot faster.
Hold on, what was it again? Hold on, I wasn't ready. Orange bottle.
What's that?
You were saying,
What's that?
You're saying there's an orange bottle with the sun?
Yeah. If I'm like, go to the grocery store and pick up the laundry detergent in the orange bottle with blue.
Yeah, Tide, right? Tide,
right? Okay. But, instead of explaining to what it looks like and how big it is, what it smells like, I can just say the word Tide, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. Or Nike, just do it. Okay, that's their slogan. So that over time has developed secondary meaning, and you're exactly tied to apparel, tied to sports and apparel. Love it. So it's not something you can just reserve or block.
Just because you put it out in the world doesn't mean that you own it, in perpetuity, and certainly doesn't mean you own it in association with any specific good or product.
Fantastic. Okay, let's see. Again, I hope this is 11/7. So let's see. I don't think we've answered this one yet. I'm glad that Mia's putting dates on these. This is awesome. Thank you, Mia. Okay, this is about open source. Did we talk open source last year? I'm wondering if I should patent my invention or just open source the whole project. A patent provides better protection. Well, that's better than open source, but is held by only one person, whereas open source has less protection.
No protection.
Infringements, but everyone else benefits. Which route should I take? Okay, well, I think it depends on what your goals are. It really is. If your goal is to make money, don't open source it. If you're looking to be a philanthropic, giver of information and sharing, then you could consider open source. Those are two polar opposites. They really are. The patent world, the patent laws are put in place to give financial reward, compensation edge temporarily for 20 years, up to 20 years over competitors. And when reward inventors with financial incentive to come up and share what they've come up with, what they've been working on. For some reason, you're not compelled, not motivated by money necessarily. You want to have more control or just prevent others. Call them the bad guys, the big corporations, from getting a patent on what you come up with by open source, like by publishing properly publishing, what's called a defensive publication, you effectively prohibit another individual or corporation from getting a patent on that subject matter. So there could be some other benefits beyond pure philanthropic open source.
Would there ever be a situation, JD, where maybe where I go and I do get a patent on this product or this invention?
Yeah.
And I let some folks use it, but the reason I'm gonna go open source generally speaking with it, but I just don't want the certain group over here using it for their purposes, right? Can I just do open source, but then with the exception of not licensing basically to this particular product category? It's
a really good question, Matt. I think the answer is probably, but that is really a question with regard to licensing law. And so to me, it would be between you, the inventor. Let's say you own all of it, right? You're the sole inventor. If you're going to give it to some other entity that's going to then publish it on your behalf, that's a licensing agreement. And so you're saying, hey, I'm willing to publish this. I allow you, I'm giving you some restriction on who you can share this code with. And you're going to probably set up some software parameters, some checking regarding who the entity is that's gaining access and putting limits, right? You have to prove that you're not an entity or sign an oath that you're not going to have an obligation to be in coordination with a large entity as according to the SBA, whatever regulation. But it's all about the contract. And I'm not the best contract attorney in town. I do claim to just focus on just patents, but yeah, that's going to be a contract. And it's all done. And that's great. What's one thing you can do with a patent is it gives you the ability to transact with your rights in any way to make, use, or sell your invention.
Have you ever done much work with Open Commons? I think that's what it's called. Isn't that like the copyright group that does a lot of
Creative Commons?
What is that?
Creative Commons. Yeah, no, but you know what? I know a guy that does. Awesome attorney Dave Ratner. His law firm is called the Creative Law Agency. They're up in Denver, so I may have him on to answer that. Bring him on.
That was a bigger thing back in 10, 15 years ago. I wonder if it's still kind of in play today.
Right, the old Napster days.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking like Larry Lessig, right? The Professor Lessig, right? I think he used to be part of Creative Commons back in the day too.
Okay, right on. Let's bring our guest on. We don't have so much time. I'm gonna do a bold bite. So let's bring on Ryan. Without further ado, Ryan Begin, welcome to our show.
Thanks, JD. Thanks for having me. And I really appreciate that you introduced me as Ryan Begin, because I always like to say I'm always ready to get it started. Although I should clarify too, my last name, it's Bayesian, kind of like the color beige. But I answer to both, and I love that you introduced me that way because it goes with my tagline that I got.
We gotta put like an accent on the I or something, then
Bayesian.
Yeah. If you go up to French Canada, it's like a Smith up there. You can't step without stepping on them. Yep. So the French, I think it's like an implied accent to them. They know how to do it. But yeah, my family, it's actually interesting. Like the origins of the name goes all the way back to, I understand it has like Hebrew origins, and then through migration over time, it's like it ended up in France, it ended up in Israel, the sixth prime minister of Israel, Mahatma Begin. So he pronounced it Begin, and then the Polish, which my family takes it from. So kind of cool. Getting to a little bit of my family history there too.
Man, right. I was going to ask you to take us back, give us your background. I didn't know you were going to go that far back, my friend.
Sorry. I definitely won't do the full timeline from there.
Awesome. So tell us about you. Where are you from? What kind of education, what kind of work are you doing? You've got the Rise Up shirt. Tell us what you've been up to.
Absolutely, yeah. So maybe I'll work backwards there, since you already mentioned Rise Up. So yeah, I currently work for Rise Up Media. So we're a digital marketing agency. We specialize in digital marketing for law firms and attorneys. So JD, you're one of our clients. fantastic to work with. And well, we have so many amazing clients. We're really fortunate. But yeah, Rise Up, such a phenomenal company. I've been with them since the beginning of this year in February, have really been blown away at just how rapidly they're growing. They actually hit the Incorporated 5,000 list the last 3 years in a row for fastest growing companies. And I'll say, just from my own personal experience, just like how quick and nimble they are to, adjust to changing landscapes. Like you and I talk all the time about the influence of AI, people searching now, getting questions answered through ChatGPT, but also Google itself, how it's integrating through AI overviews and now AI mode. Yeah, I've been really impressed with how well Rise Up has been adapting to these things and really how quickly we've been moving on it all. So overall, my time in digital marketing in the legal space has been about 6 years now. Collectively, my time in digital marketing has been going on 13 years, started back in 2013. That's when I was in college. So I attended the City College of New York for most of my education. And so that's where I graduated from. I actually graduated, I like to market it as mass comm, but it was more officially in a major with film and video production, a couple minors in English and journalism. So did a lot of great stuff out there in New York too. I'll avoid getting in the weeds with that. Prior to New York, I actually did a year of school in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I went to the Santa Fe University of Art and Design. Prior to that, I did a year of college at St. Cloud State University. That's actually while I was still in high school as part of this post-secondary education options program, PSEO, where you can earn college credits while you're still in high school. And so, yeah, that takes you back to my origins. I'm from Minnesota originally, where I currently reside.
Go.
Now from Minnesota. Yeah. Orano, right, Matt?
Yeah, Orano. Everything out here is it's a Native American names, and so the pronunciation is way different. Like Wayzata, Wayzata is right down the road, and could go on for days. But originally.
So originally, I'm from Elk River, but now I live in Northeast Minneapolis.
Oh, cool.
Yep. And actually, as you mentioned, the Native American names for our cities, it's kind of fun. I like the history of, so Minneapolis, it was actually named by, I understand, the city's first school teacher back before it was, a big city, obviously. And it's actually a combination of the local native word for water, which is mini, so mini is water, and then polis from the Greek capital, so Minneapolis. That's how they got the name.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, thank you for that background, Ryan. I think we could hit all sorts of subjects. And and the one thing we did talk about was some of the bold soundtracks, some of the bold beats I've been dropping. I want to get some of that in, but before we jump into that, maybe we could talk a bit more hey, give us the 2025 update on what are the best AI tools? What are the best, call it SEO, marketing levers to pull these days? For some of us out there that are not just law firm, we're a law firm, but people with new companies that are trying to get out and share the word about their product, their service. What do you tell people?
Yep. No, great question, JD. So first and foremost, I'll say the majority of tools that they have out there nowadays, especially if it's the general platforms, you got to keep in mind that they're not perfect, right? And by that I mean, they work to be incredibly helpful, and you'll probably notice it's rare that they'll come back and they'll say, "Oh, I don't know that." But one thing you can actually do when you prompt any system is you can request it hey, don't make anything up when you do this. And you can even ask it to cite your sources, or for it to cite its sources. So that's one way that, I recommend mitigating, potential false information or misleading information. But in terms of the best platforms to use, what I'll say is it's not a single platform. And even for any individual function, that there is a bit of variance in that, Grok is really great as a writer. Claude, I think, is an even better writer. ChatGPT is phenomenal for research purposes, although if you want to ensure things are the most factually accurate, Perplexity is really my go-to in terms of that. But now, if you're looking to do a very specific task, right? If you're looking to tackle something, you want to make sure that you're getting a very precise output. What you actually need to do is you need to build what's called a chain. And so it's not just going to be like a single AI platform in every case. In some cases, you might be able to use it, but even with a single platform, you're going to want to actually have multiple steps involved in the chain, right? And so you kind of break down the work in the way that you would typically do it. And then through the chain, you have the different steps called nodes, where you essentially go step by step. And you can even have different like specific steps for QA, right? You can have like one AI kind of check the work of another AI as an example. So that's a really powerful way that you can do that. There's different platforms out there that you can use to start exploring building these types of chains. Make is a really popular one. N8N is one that I personally love. They also have some other kind of more service-oriented platforms out there where it's similar to Make or N8N, but it would be a company that then they have people who can help provide support and guide you through the process, things like that. But going back to, as I said, you don't want to just necessarily rely on any single platform. I'll say it's a pretty common thing that I see nowadays, where we'll notice, clients, they'll send recommendations over through ChatGPT and things like that. And I'll say in general, it's not like off the mark. It's just not as precise as you need it to be for what you're looking to accomplish. And probably like a great analogy I can use for that is JD, the same reason why I'm sure you wouldn't recommend someone go and do pursue their legal work, any type of like patenting or, give another practice area, right? If they were pursuing a legal case, why you can't do that 100% with ChatGPT or another AI platform is the same reason why, really for any industry, including digital marketing, you want to have an expert still guiding you along the process. And so for some companies, that might just mean, bringing someone in-house to do that for them. You don't necessarily have to work with an agency, although I'm a bit biased when it comes to the legal industry in that, like I said, Rise Up, I've just been blown away because, whether it's a large company, which I've worked with, or, small, individual contributors, like I really think Rise Up just has like the perfect ecosystem for helping guide clients in this AI-driven world.
Yeah, no, it's great. And something we've been doing, for 12 years now, is trying to show up on Google, right? Mother Google. And she's been providing, and it seems like there's a bit of an ebb, right? There's, all of a sudden people are searching on, and they've been doing it for a while now, but YouTube and certainly some of these AI platforms. And I've been humbled by the fact that Bold Patents is showing up on the results of some of these searches. I'm okay to get, if you don't mind sharing, how do you recommend to other law firms to start showing up? How do they get to the top of some of these AI? How do they become an answer?
Yep.
Questions.
No, great question. So, one thing was actually, it was in your question, which is answers, right? And that, traditionally we've called it search engine optimization. And there's this new kind of method or general way that its optimization is regarded. It's AEO, answer engine optimization. And now that would apply to, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, as I mentioned, Grok, but also Google itself, because there's now the Google AI overviews. And some people might also now be using Google's AI mode, which is really similar to a traditional large language model experience like ChatGPT. So, one thing that I actually want to preface with that, for any law firm, you should definitely be paying attention to is the fact that there has been a pretty drastic shift in search behavior since especially AI overviews has been introduced, because not everyone's necessarily going to ChatGPT or using Google AI mode yet. However, Google AI overviews is a part of the regular search results, right? And so it's good to know how that's been impacting things. And one major shift that we've seen is, there's a lot of like topics related to the more transactional types of searches you're going after, where traditionally it was a regular strategy where you do blog posts on those topics so you can drive traffic to your website through those blog posts. That helps to build up authority for your website, because if you have a lot of traffic coming in with all types of searches, all topics related to your core topic, then it shows that people are engaging clearly. They're finding value in your content. However, with AI overviews, oftentimes now it's not about getting the traffic into your blog posts, but just showing up as a citation, because more often than not, the AI overviews are doing what they're intended to, which is providing those immediate answers to people directly in Google, right? And so it's no longer for blog posts necessarily the main KPI as far as traffic coming in, but as I said, just ensuring that you're being cited. And for one, that's a measurement of brand awareness, right? So every time you show up, that's another opportunity for people to become aware of your brand. Beyond that, just think about it from Google's business model perspective, right? Google would be shooting itself in the foot if it did not have some type of incentive for websites to still be creating this blog content, because otherwise, what does it have to reference in order to generate its AI overviews? And so that's where the citations continues to be, or I should say another reason why the citations are a very important KPI nowadays, because that shows that Google is regarding your website as authoritative still. If it's choosing to cite you in its AI overviews, there's a higher likelihood that it's also going to recommend you then when it comes to a more transactional, or we call high intent search, like
right.
Who do I hire for this particular service?
Okay, that's really interesting, because I mean, like, who reads those citations? I don't, but maybe you're right. You just nailed it, I think. Is if my question is, what is a patent? That's not necessarily, I'm not interested in hiring someone, but it's more like, what does a patent cost? Or who, a patent attorney in Baltimore, okay, now you're actually more intentional, and then I'm going to want to click on something to hire someone. And Google's not going to represent me. Google's not going to be my attorney. And so maybe that's when those citations really matter, is that's probably who they're going to serve up in terms of you're going to click. And I'm seeing those show up even before the sponsored. Sometimes. Google's going to make that call. And obviously, those who don't know, sponsored means paid ads. We're not currently doing, just to be full disclosure, we're not doing paid ads at the moment. And I'm just wondering if, if we're going to be able to compete with that on purely organic. Can you actually compete with some of those eyeballs on a transactional search?
To expand upon, the value of still showing up as that citation, it lends itself to a key aspect of why we used to want to generate traffic to those blog posts. It's essentially the same mechanism. We're just seeing it play out a little differently. We used to want to drive traffic to those blog posts because by covering different aspects of a topic, I should say, subtopics of your main topic, like patent attorney, and then, some of the examples that you gave, we were driving traffic to build up authority. Like I said, if people are engaging with the content, then, Google would consider you more authoritative. That's a part of what we call EAT signals. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So the acronym EEAT for EAT signals. Well, now showing up as a citation, that is essentially the same value as what we used to see for heavy traffic, right? So, you used to have to show up as the result, and then people would, come in as traffic. That's boosting your authority. Now to Google, it's just regularly showing up as that citation. If you see that, you're being regarded as authoritative, and you do want to cover all of those subtopics still, because going in depth, that covers the second E of the EAT signals, expertise. It shows that you have a broad range of expertise when it comes to the topic, and that you're covering all those individual subtopics. And so, Google is more than happy to include you as a citation, and eventually the end goal, recommend you as the attorney to go with, because they can see essentially your stuff. If you cover that many different aspects of a topic, then Google is knows it's more likely that a user is going to have a positive experience with your services if they do recommend you.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Ryan. Wealth of knowledge. Are you comfortable if I share your email with our audience? If anybody's out there, any other attorneys, I know we got some attorney spies out there from time to time. Check it out. Even competitors, I'm happy to share. Are you open to sharing your email address?
Yeah, no, more than happy. So it's just Ryan at riseupmedia.com, and Rise is spelled with a Z. So it's RIZEUPMEDIA, riseupmedia.com.
Awesome. Well, let's take a break there. I got your email. Hopefully I got Ryan at riseupmedia.com. So yeah, get a hold of Ryan if you have any questions on that directly. There's his email. I want you to stay on with us. In fact, we could go to a new segment. One part of your background, which I don't know if you mentioned, was your stint in film.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was that in New York?
Yeah, so I did mention, so I actually went to film school out in New York. I always like to market it as mass comm, because that's been easier to get the marketing gigs, right? Especially with my minors in English and journalism. But so I attended the City College of New York, which actually they have the longest continuous running film program in the country. It was started back in the day by the German expressionist Hans Richter, under the guise of being a documentary school, because that's the only way they could take a film school seriously back then, is, we're recording history. So there's an actual purpose for it. So as I said, it was under the guise of that. He turned it into a complete experimental film school, though. Like, if you look at the stuff that actually came out of like some of the first classes that went through the program, it was anything but documentary. It was heavily experimental, but it actually ties right into what led me into digital marketing, because when I was attending film school, I actually had an internship at Showtime Networks, the television network, and it was in their East Coast branch in New York City there. So, when I heard I was getting a production internship, I'm like, oh, awesome. Like, I was envisioning myself being on set and, doing all the stuff I was doing in film school. But that would be on the West Coast, very, very different, right? On the East Coast is where they would put together all the promotional stuff. And so a lot of my internship in their, I think it was called Red Group production department, was actually watching a whole lot of Showtime episodes, which, oh my gosh, what a grueling internship that was, right? But actually, like, scrubbing through things to, find different segments and stuff that could be pieced together for promotional materials. I even, a quick anecdote, I even joined a board meeting, or not board meeting, I joined a conference meeting one time where they were brainstorming different promotional ideas for a Showtime show called Web Therapy. I forget the actress's name, but she was Phoebe in the TV show Friends.
Okay.
Yeah, but and what I'm talking about. Lisa, yeah, I think Lisa, like Kudrow.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
I think, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. My 10-year reunion. I'm thinking of a movie. Right. Anyway, Ryan, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I would like to ask that we switch.
Yeah.
Here, that you interview me.
Yeah.
Right? About some music I've been publishing. So to sort of kick things off, I've got this link for our audience. And Matt, this might get weird, but Ryan's going to be interviewing me about some of the music I've released. That's my Spotify link. I'll do a brief screen share to just show off for some of those viewers the Spotify channel with some of the songs. And so, Ryan, would you please interview me for the next 10 to 15 minutes? And then we'll do a bold bite. After that, we'll do it.
I am so into this. You're
into this? You're loving this? Okay, good. So these are some of the songs I've done. I assume you've got a list of these, Ryan.
Yes, I do.
Okay, yep. I'm putting you on the spot. So let's do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, and before I dive into the individual hits, which, I mean, there's so much to get into with each individual one. I actually first wanted to start with some kind of, just high level questions that I put together here, because I'd really like to just, gain more of a sense of how, you initially have, like what inspired you to get into doing this, because, in working with you, I'll tell you, it's not every client that is producing this kind of stuff. And it's so fun. These ideas that you bring to the table, in particular with this music venture. And quick note I wanted to say in relation to digital marketing, we talked about this earlier. Doing something like this, very unique for your branding, it is great for your EAT signals, because it's a differentiator that other law firms, they can't reverse engineer. It's so bold, it's so you, and I'm really excited to dive into this. So the first question that I had about your general inspiration is, well, what first inspired you to start writing songs about the world of inventing and intellectual property?
Yes, good question. It was my uncle. My uncle Paul gave me a call out of the blue. Don't talk to him very often. He's like, JD, you've got to check this song out. I can't believe I produced it. Been working with Caleb, who's my nephew. And Uncle Paul is a theologian, big Christian guy, evangelical. And so he had been creating these gospel verses and put them to this music using Suno AI. I looked at it, I was like, oh my goodness, my Uncle Paul is creating this. It sounded really cool. It's got scripture in there and it's awesome. But I was like, goodness, how else could I use this? And thought about my business and thought, I have a lot of content. I do a lot of videos. You guys have seen my YouTube channels. I do a lot of short, little 2-3 minute segments on my daily video. And I thought, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let me see what this thing can do. Just on a whim, tried Suno AI, using ChatGPT, found some lyrics that would work, massaged them a little bit, tweaked it here and there, and it spit out some incredible stuff. Truly, truly powerful. And I like upbeat music, big beats, EDM. I like, beats are dropping. I want to make sure that if I'm in a car, would I listen to this type of music? Would I get into it? The whole concept was just fun at first. That's really how it started. Didn't really think, oh, this is a strategy. I'm going to go land more clients this way. So that's really how it started. It's just fun. I started developing. I was like, oh my gosh, this actually sounds good. And it's got some of the words I really believe in too.
Love it. Well, and I think you said we're going to maybe do some previews too. I mean, people got to hear this stuff, because it's, for one, it really does, like, to me, it speaks to, your clients and inventors and, what some of the experiences they're going through, but it's good music too. Like, without even, considering the lyrics and the value of that, it's got a good beat. I'm really impressed on actually how crisp a lot of it sounds. So question, like, how do your experiences then as a patent attorney influence some of those stories and messages that you have in your music?
Well, I think having done, content development, doing things like this live show, doing, longer form talks where it's just talking head and regurgitating the law, or doing these shorts, I've found that people resonate with clear messaging, really, really clear. Here's how you can take action. Here's how you can learn. This is the one nugget we're going to focus on. And it just seems like the messaging is better when it's really crystallized. And nothing turns your mind on like music. And so I thought, gosh, what if I could put in one nugget, one gold nugget in the form of music? So each song is basically what came out of a 3-minute video on a specific topic. And, so anyway, kind of bringing it full circle, when clients are educated, when they're hungry for knowledge, that's when I know we've got a great client. They're actually going to be better clients because they've learned something. They want to know, what's my attorney doing? They're not just saying, oh, he's my patent guy and sort of keeping at arm's length. They have a lot on the line. Almost all of our clients at Bold, this is their big shot. They have everything on the line. This is the cornerstone of what might become their whole business, their whole livelihood.
Yep.
And so working that closely with an individual inventor, you gain insight as to how much it means to them. And so that's part of what I love about practicing law in this field, is because we get to help them in a very positive way. a lot of lawyers, my brother involved, end up helping people when they're in trouble or when there's a problem. Matt and I here at Bold, we get to help people do something fun. It's such a thrilling part of the law. And so why not get the word out through some music?
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. And JD, I could just say, like, from my perspective too, it's true. Like when a client knows more about the work that you're doing, it's just the experience. It's more engaging. It's something that you can get excited about together in that regard. And I'll say that that's what it's like working with you, because I know that you, in addition to patent law, you're very well versed in digital marketing, and I've mentioned before, you're always bringing great ideas to the table. So I could definitely see how that translates in your area of work and your clients as well. So as far as the songwriting, would you see that as an extension of your work with inventors, or like it sounds like maybe a bit of that, or how much of that and how much of a creative outlet would you say?
No, this came from a recent, call it a shift in how I've been doing my content. So forever I've been doing what I'll call informational. Basically assuming that whoever's listening is already interested in filing a patent. And I'm just giving them tons of info, so much so they could even do it themselves. Okay. And I'm shifting it now. This is part of the shift I actually want to talk to just everyday people. And it's a giant, massive funnel, but the concept of believing that everyone is an inventor. And so I'm putting these posits, these questions that I think every human asks themselves, that someone that wouldn't consider themselves as an inventor, to help them realize, my goodness, I could be. And that's the first track I dropped. The title is I'm Not an Inventor. I'm not an inventor. Yeah, you are. Everyone is. It's a matter of whether it's the right time or the right idea. That's what this music is about. It's inspiring. So it's really approaching the widest audience possible, of inspiring anyone, everyone and anyone to think, gosh, I could be an inventor. Why not share my knowledge? Why not share my idea? I just released another one, which is titled, My Idea is Not Big Enough. This is a stupid idea. It's a dumb idea in the shower. It's not going to go anywhere. Really? Are you sure? Because that little spark could lead to a whole lot more. And so that's what these lyrics are about. It's just speaking really generically as possible to a much broader audience, to do kind of that more feel-good, inspirational level content.
Are you going to play the music or not, JD? We're all sitting here.
So, hey, so I have struggled on technical level. I literally do not know how to share the audio so that it'll sound decent or sound good at all.
Yep. More to come in the future. More to come.
You guys must stand busy, or maybe Ryan can help me with that. This platform StreamYard we use, which is wonderful. It does a great job, doing live broadcasts. And, for whatever reason, Matt, you and I, we have not yet become wildly popular with live audience. But perhaps there's a way to do it non-live where we're not going to get feedback on the audio sharing. But I'm happy to share soon some of these hits. And there's the link here to go to the Spotify channel. You can see the music, see where to go download it, listen to it, and check it out. Cool. Well, I think with that, perhaps we could shift back and go to our bold bites. Ryan, unless you had any other final question or two.
I could sit here and talk to you about it all day. I did have some other questions to run through. Maybe if I pick just one quick one, if you had time for one.
Yeah, let's do one. Let's do one.
Okay,
we'll
super quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is one I was really curious to know, because we've been listening to quite a few of your songs. I hope others get to listen to them too soon. And one thing that I think might get people as excited as I am about your music is, could you think of like a favorite lyric from one of your songs? Just like any lyric, just to give a taste that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a really good one. I'm going to pull it from I'm Not an Inventor. Let's see. I don't have all these memorized, Ryan, but let's see. Yes. So from What If I Fail, which is so good. I think this is like a life lesson thing. It's human nature to not want to look like a fool, right? But this verse 2 it says, fear's just a wall you've built too high, a shadow that fades when you try. Love it. It's just your conception, right? And it's like a lot of things. Fear is all in your head. It's all your perceptions. It's so often what holds you back. So just taking action, it just disappears, right? So just take that step. Be bold.
I saw the mic drop from Matt. I couldn't put it any better.
Jonathan, patents are too expensive. I like it. That's a great title track. They are too darn expensive. I agree. And I think what we've been talking about today, AI, tools, efficiencies, can drive down the costs. I've seen some incredible drafts come through the assistance of AI. I've also seen a lot of junk written by AI too. So these tools are powerful for good or for worse. So used correctly, technology can save a lot of money. For example, just to touch really quickly on that, an inventor that comes to us with a well-drafted provisional patent application, you're going to potentially save up to $5,000 in legal fees, right? If you've got a draft that's as good as what we would do, not saying everybody can do that, but we have done it. You get full credit for a fully drafted provisional with spec and drawings. So yeah, patents are expensive, and in some cases, overly so. Okay, we got last 10 or 13 minutes here. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to listen to, and this hopefully audio will work through. I've got to shift my audio over. We'll listen to a young inventor. I love kid inventors. Always pulls at the heartstrings. This guy's invented a new shovel, believe it or not. So let's listen to him. He was on Shark Tank back in 2016. Uh-oh. Default microphone. There. All right, you guys see that? Give me a thumbs up if you hear the audio, okay?
First in the tank is a simple yet ingenious improvement to a household tool.
Hey Sharks, my name is Matt Pritchard. I'm 13 years old and I'm the inventor and patent holder of the measuring shovel.
And my name is Amanda Pritchard. And, well, I'm the manager of Maddox, Mom for short.
We're here seeking $40,000 for 15% equity in my company. Sharks, did you know planting new plants too close together causes ugly landscapes, and it's really bad for the plants? And planting trees too deep can even kill the tree? My shovel tells us all of this. The measuring shovel has measurements from the tip of the blade up the handle, which is great for measuring your depth and spacing plants out. Are you digging what I'm saying? This is my sister Brenna. Sisters. She's helping model and demonstrate my tools. And this is my dad, Jason. My dad has a lot of friends who are builders, concrete, and utility workers. And they all said using my shovel would make their job so much easier. I mean, why would you buy a regular shovel if the measuring shovel was sitting right beside it? That's right, you wouldn't. The measuring shovel buries the competition. So, Sharks, can you dig it?
We can dig it. Good job, Matt.
I actually have to always do that because my mom's a perfectionist. It was always such a pain.
Maddox, tell us a little bit about your background and how you come up with it. It's so obvious in retrospect. I can't believe you actually got a patent nobody had thought out ahead of you. So tell us about that.
When I was in the fourth grade, I had class project to make an invention that helped make life easier. And like I said, I always help my mom landscape. So I made the measuring shovel. And then I went to the Tennessee State Invention Convention where I won first place. And then after that, I went to the first ever National Invention Convention in Washington where I won the Household Tools Award.
Wow.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
What made you decide to turn it into a business?
Well, we had so many people there say that I should get it patented, and someone from the State Invention Convention knew a patent attorney, and he did a lot of my patent work for free, which was really lucky.
Really worked for me for free?
Because that's very expensive.
Yes.
So that
Without
was really
him, I might not be
nice.
here today.
I'm curious to hear a little bit about your mom and dad and what their backgrounds are.
I'm actually a CPA.
As I'm kind of in the same boat. Everything I touch, plant-wise, dies. I mean,
Because you're not using the right shovel.
I didn't even know it was a shovel till you told me. So for those reasons, I'm out.
Thank you.
The idea is brilliant. If I saw a shovel that didn't have measuring on it and it was the same price as the one beside it, I'd always pick the one with it.
Thank you.
I mean, that's your basic concept.
That's no-brainer.
Right? Lori and I have been talking in the background here. You remind us of a deal from the past called Benji Lock, where a young man came up with a better mousetrap in a lock. And he didn't want to be in the lock business. He wanted a partner that could help him find the best manufacturer, best distribution, and license it so he could sit at home, open the envelopes, look at the check and say, yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. And so I'm the licensed guy.
Yes, sir.
She's
And
fantastic.
I am also a licensed gal.
We're going to partner together, and we're going to blow it up.
Definitely.
what's your offer, guys?
Definitely think that we
All
can
right.
license.
We don't do this for free. You're in the Shark Tank
Right.
now, and we're sharks.
Yes, sir.
Here's the deal. We're going to give you the $40,000. We want 30% because you're getting two sharks. We want
Oh, that's the
15%
college
each.
fund. Shark Tank.
It's a great deal for you, man. You really should think this through. It's hard to get two sharks ever.
Yeah.
These two sharks, El Supremo.
Yes.
Can you dig it?
Mr. Wonderful and Lori, you got a deal.
All right. You got a deal, guys. Look at that. Maddox Richard from Gallatin, Tennessee, did indeed get a patent, did get that 40K, but he had to give up one more percentage. I'd love to get your take. Matt, let's start with you. Things you like, didn't like.
A measuring shovel, huh? I mean, it's not registerable.
Why not, Matt?
It is merely descriptive of a feature or functionality of the product. So at the United States Patent and Trademark Office, we're basically granting little mini monopolies on certain words for certain products and services, right? That's what a trademark really is. It's kind of giving you some exclusive use to prevent consumer confusion in the marketplace. Yeah, but we don't give out monopolies or little trademark fiefdoms for descriptive words, because that would create this playing field where one person got to call their product what it was and everybody else couldn't call their product what it is. So we don't want that. So
We don't want that. So
yeah, I think we could have found a more clever brand for this product.
Got it. So you don't love the brand. Yeah, but I think the product itself sure seems simple. And to be able to get a patent on something simple, definitely worth doing. I did want to show off his U.S. patent. I looked it up. He was able to achieve a utility patent for a shovel in 2018. I mean, you thought your invention might be too simple. This guy got a utility patent on a shovel. I do want to take a quick peek. He did use an attorney out there, and if he did the pro bono work, bless his heart, Wayne Edward Ramage from Baker Donaldson out in Tennessee. What you end up owning on a utility patent, for those of you who don't know, is not necessarily the pictures, not the written description about it, but it's the claims, the numbered set of claims down here. And so this is what he owns. He owns a tool comprising a handle with a front face attached to a proximal end with the handle, first measurement markings, second line of measurement markings extending along the whole face, and then a third line of measurement marking extending laterally across the front face, right? So basically making a T, where in that third line of measurement markings make a 0 point at a midpoint on the face of the tool. So pretty specific, but gosh, this could actually work for any type of tool. You can imagine a rake having a face, right? A hoe, any type of equipment. So this was really well written in a broad format. You don't see the word shovel here. That tells me it's not that specific, which gives him broader rights. So I like the patent as written. My really quick take on the independent claim. And that was issued back in 2018. So he's got 20 years till 2038. If I'm doing math right, 2038, he'll be able to be the only one out there making, using, and selling it.
Super cool. Good on him.
Yep.
I just thought of a better name for the measuring stick, or for the measuring.
Let's hear it.
Call it the yardstick.
The yardstick. Okay.
It's a measuring tool, so it kind of acts like a yardstick, but it's for the yards, a shovel. It's a long thing. Call it the yardstick.
Yardstick. All right. I give that a 6 or 7 out of 10, Matt. I'm not like jumping up and down excited about it. Yeah. See, 7 or 8. I give it a 7 or 8. Okay.
No, I'll take 5 or 6. Yeah. I give it a 6 or 7 too.
So quick update, and what you're welcome to jump in, right? But I would say I always want to share the update. So unfortunately, while they do have their website up, the last update was as of 2022, and they don't have any product for sale yet. So, but if you're interested, they have a Facebook page. Look like they're still going after it. I'll share their themesuringshovel.com. He's still working on it, and I took a look at his Facebook page. Super sweet. He's a little kid here, but look what he's up to.
Yeah, he must be like what, 26 years old now.
Look at him. Last year he spoke at the Tennessee Invention Convention. Look at that. He's influencing kids.
I can't see your screen right now.
Oh, I can't. Well, I'm sorry. Here we go. So check them out now.
Oh, look at him. Look, he's a young man. That's wild.
Look at Maddox. You're right. Young man. He's sharing his experience with the youth of Tennessee
cool.
At a middle school. So he's giving back on top of that. So pretty cool story. If anything, it's, inspiring others to do a lot of what he did. So it's awesome. All right. That's about the end of our show. I want to thank you, Ryan, for being with us and interviewing me today on my music. Thank you, Jonathan, for tuning in. Jonathan just reminded me that patents are too expensive. That's the name of one of my tracks. And I think that's one where I got some rap.
That's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut. It's like, ugh. But it's true. People think that. And so check out the music. It might inspire you in some way to get out there and invent. So for Bold Patents, myself, Matt, wishing you guys an awesome day. Go big, go bold. All right.
Go big, go bold at boldip.com.